don't have long. I don't know how long, but we'll see. Inventions that happen at the same time. All right. Let's see. Let's go to share screen. Share screen. Let's see. So I got this idea about what is real, and they kind of touched on it a little bit in the. Let me see here. How do I edit that? Edit. Maybe this one. Oh yeah, let's try. I like that one. All right. I have these. When PBK was talking with Hello, Cale Zeldin, and they were talking about epistemology and what is real. And I've had this idea for a while now, and I think it's somehow correct. The idea of epistemologic humility. Is that what they call that? Epistemic humility. Yeah, that's the word. And I was thinking about ways of kind of like teasing this out a little bit because, I got a call coming in. Got to take the call. All right. Well, that being said, I have probably 15 minutes to do this. So this idea about inventions that happen at the same time, this kind of points to some of this, right? Known as simultaneous invention or multiple discovery, occur when different inventors independently create the same technology without knowing about each other's work. The phenomenon proves that when the right materials, scientific understanding, and cultural needs align, certain breakthroughs become nearly inevitable. And I think, to me, the salient part of this is and I've never read this until just now, but the cultural needs align. And let's look at some of these actually. Share this tab instead. So you have yeah. When Nobel laureates are announced annually, especially in physics, chemistry, whatever, all these different things, multiples instances of same discoveries. I want to see some examples of this. Come on, beeswax. I want some multiple discoveries in history of science provide evidence of evolutionary models of science and technology, such as memetics. It's evolutionary epistemology. Now that's interesting, which applies the concepts of biological evolution to study the growth of human knowledge. cultural selection theory, which studies sociological and cultural evolution in a Darwinian manner. Um, yeah. See, I only want to use this example as an example of um, of of this kind of like um, how would we say this? Like as an example of like a collective perspective, or like a coherent collective epistemology, and possibly even one that is unknown to those who share it. Or kind of maybe an epistemology, a collective epistemology that is um, very suppositional or something like that. It's like somehow um, we've agreed uh, that certain things are possible, and or certain things are real or whatever. And the language is hard to get at, but like I really do have this kind of this worldview of that's how the world is made in a lot of ways. Um, not in the sense of like your imagination makes the world. That's not what I mean. Um, Stop sharing. Not in that way, but in the way that I think actually uh, something like uh, our collective participation with reality. Um, and I was thinking about this kind of like another example would be, um, yeah, like hive mind, kind of like that, but like, okay, so like this: when we breathe, we're not thinking of oxygen; we're just breathing air. And it's in that way. It's like you don't think about it. But an example, perhaps a biblical example, one or two of them would be like when is that the road to Emmaus story, when the two dudes are walking and they're like, and the stranger's like, what are you guys moping about? And and they're like, well, haven't you heard? And it wasn't until I think it was in that case where Christ reveals himself to them. And also it happens, I think, in the upper room, and then it happens with Mary Magdalene, I think, too, in a different story. But it's like this um, when the agreement is made, right? And maybe in those instances, it's when their uh, vision aligns with God's will, something like that, and He is revealed to them. And I think about this as it relates to because this really hit me back when I was reading the They Flew book, and the with the levitating saints like Joseph of Cupertino and Teresa of Avila. I don't know how to say that, but um, and one of the things that Carlos Ayres says in there is that um, at the time it would have been more uh, of a believable possibility that people would be able to levitate or fly in the minds of people at that time. Also, I mean, another place you can kind of look at this is there's that one story of the guy that goes down to that village to do missionary work, and he can't see the God on the beach, but everybody else can. It's kind of like that too, you know. And another instance of this is kind of like when 9/11 happened, those random number machines kind of made some weird jumps. And so that being said, I really do think that there's something that happens with our participation. So our vision and our participation with reality has an effect on reality. And I do think that's very interesting. I mean, and maybe it's like all the way down to the level of the mundane, something like we have refrigerators, they work. We have electricity and and it's working, and we all agree that that works. And because, so it's not necessarily seeing as believing, but maybe imagining is seeing, uh, in some sense, like the imagination makes it possible. Or I also often go to the story of when Jesus goes to Nazareth, um, and those people are, and he tells them that I can't do anything here because of your lack of faith or lack of belief or something. And I think that that's kind of it's so easy to kind of, I think, gloss over this as something that is possibly trivial. Um, and I think like the world that we live in right now is kind of caught in the throes of waking up from an epistemological um, slumber, and maybe waking up to something different. And so part of us are asleep in one area, and some of us are waking up in other areas. And um, and so like there are multiple worldviews kind of clashing, and I don't really know what to make of that. But I don't know how. I mean, maybe that's kind of like one of the dangers of the playing around with these technologies in the way that we do. It's um, like we're messing around with magic that we don't really understand. And yeah, I don't really know what to make of that. But I really wanted to talk about this, and I'd love other people's thoughts on it because, um, I mean, or we can just continue to kind of sweep it under the rug as something that's like I said, kind of trivial. Like, well, we can't prove it, so I don't know, maybe not. Um, um, yes, seeking genuine. My um, cooking friend here says reminds me of the idea of synchronicities as well, with events more causal and with less rationality as we know it. I mean, yeah, I think that uh, Rupert Sheldrake has some really interesting stuff on this, and I think like if you think of um, well, I mean, probably you probably pull from a lot of different places, but um, yeah, if ideas are powerful enough, um, yeah, I am. No, I won't be. I'm going to be going. I'll be shutting down here soon because I'm going to be going to spend time with my in-laws for a bit, and then I probably won't be back for a while, maybe next week or something. But um, yeah, if an idea is powerful enough, um, and maybe this is so you have trade-offs, right? So if we live in a kind of self-centered world, or have like a self-centered ontological view, I think it's a lot easier um, to keep things kind of like from going kind of wild and haywire, but maybe that's why it kind of feels dull sometimes. But if you have like if you have kind of like an other centered ontological um, perspective, I mean, I bet you can do a lot with that. A lot can happen, but it also probably can get really freaky real quick. Um, so we humans like to explain things away, but who's to say our ways of explaining these ideas is how the universe actually works? There seems to be a deeper, more mysterious thread that connects us. I believe that's very true. I mean, I think like just the idea, the mere concept of or reality that people are born at all is insane. Or that anything lives at all is ridiculous. I mean, just kind of like it's like it's this kind of like impossible thing that just happens, and we just are, and we are beneficiaries of it, and there it is, and yet it's like what? It doesn't make any sense. um or that we make can make words and or any of this stuff. It's like and so like it's oh, gotta take this call. Hello. Yellow. Couple. All right. Yeah. Nice. All right. All right. Well, I gotta go. I'm gonna go have some. We're gonna get some epistemological pizza, and yeah, it's hmm. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Complicated. I gotta go. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.